treatment, as found by the United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Arrest in its report and ruling of 20th of July this year, the Igbos of the Southeast still obey him on any day his matter is coming up by sitting at home. This grinds to a halt businesses and the normal way of life. What I have done is to appeal to Mr. President to use extrajudicial means, not by force, but by calling upon the Attorney General to use Section 174 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Okay, our time expired because our time was supposed to be 2 hours. It expired, even it kicked it out from YouTube. So there are many things I said that might not actually come through because of our time elapsed. So now we are back on YouTube. So if you are joined back, I believe that it has splitted the video on YouTube to be double. So if you are joining on YouTube again, click the like button or share the video to invite others to join. This is what normally happens when I am leaving it. If I don't pay attention, it will just kick me out. But now it couldn't, because I found out the solution to the problem. So it is only on YouTube that it has affected. It might have, divided the video there and make it separated it into 2 places. But those that are joining on that YouTube again are Judge Money Blog Africa. Share the video, like the video, subscribe, and algorithm will continue to do its work by sharing it so that the rest of the people who are watching us will join back. So let us continue. Just like I was saying, there was something I said before it cut out. I was saying that the 3 arms of government that are in Nigeria, they are not working. The only arms of government that doesn't exist but yet working in Nigeria is dictatorship. And that dictatorship is the arm that is working in Nigeria, because every country where there is dictatorship, it means that what happens in the court, in their judiciary, can be will actually be interfered by the president. The president can interfere in the judiciary, can interfere in the legislature. It makes decision in every area. But now they deceived you and say you have 3 arms: legislature, judiciary, executive, legislature, and the judiciary. And these 3 arms are supposed to be independent. They're supposed to be, independent, or, not just independent. Everybody will make their own decision, rigorously independent. Now, in this regard, you saw when the legislature were protesting to remove the chairman of the executive, which is your president, instead of passing a motion of no confidence, then there will be a vote to remove or to impeach the president, or through that process, the president will choose to resign by himself for him not to be impeached, because if he gets impeached, he will not have those immunity as president emeritus. Now, for the sake of that, you see the legislature protesting like me and you. You see people you put in power to represent you complaining, crying the way me and you are crying. What does that show you? That it is dictator regime that you have. There is nothing like 3 arms of government. Every politician that knows their book will know what I am saying. Or every intellectual that understand what it means to have legislature, judiciary, and executive will understand what I am saying. Now, if legislature is actually crippled and cannot do anything on their own, what do you think about the judiciary? How are you going to try members of the executive in the judiciary when judiciary is dependent on the executive to work? So that is the message he's sending. Let the judiciary, let the executive. Now, since the judiciary cannot work without you, executive, now executive, we have noticed that this ball is in your court. It is not in the court anymore, court of law. Because you are the prosecutor, you are the, you are the complainant, you are prosecutor, you are judge, you are everything, you are judiciary. How do you think that ordinary people will survive in that conundrum? When when they do put on every effort to to assuage this issue, these pieces, this insecurity, the judiciary will continue to actually exacerbate it. Not the judiciary, the executive will continue to exacerbate this matter, the insecurity, everything. Now, the question now to the Biafra land, to the politicians. Now, there is something I want to, actually make you to understand. Remember when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was warning Wike? Wike na Machali, go and kill Obibo. You will get presidency 2023. Wike run and kill our people in Obibo. Smaller of Hitler. Today now, Wike is now dancing Inyendeba, because Nadibu Nada Batanan. Now, you see the way Wike is protesting, fighting back. How many of Ndibo who missed that opportunity are actually protesting, fighting back? Because you can see that Wike is fighting back. Even though he was used to kill our people, which he can never be forgiven. That is the reason why he said there is no sin that goes unpunished. He is protesting and making sure that he get back at Ndotiana PDP. How many of Igbo's aspirants that they promise, like Devil Mahi, who is drowning in debt today? His state is drowning in debt because he was proactive to use the money of his state to go and do illegal activities, creating faction in IPOB, renditioning Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, among others, instead of using it to service his debt. Today, the presidency, run past him, or he didn't see anything. Is he protesting? He went in, become quiet. No one is hearing from him again. Now I am asking all of you cowards in the name of politicians in Biafra land. Cowards. All of you are cowards. All Judge Money Poluno cowards. Or if you know, cowards. Okamanono. That is what all of you are. Cowards. No, Okamanono. The reason why I call you cowards. Ohaneze ndị Igbo, cowards. Bunch of cowards. Number one, unu no hope uzo the money ebu your youth. It's killing your youth. You can't say anything. You can't do anything. I don't know which promises now they are still making on Hope Uzodinma, or because they put him there because he did not win an election, that he's still loyal to them, that he cannot come down now. That is the reason why Goodluck said that if you vote a killer, they will kill to get into power. They will continue to kill to stay in power. That is what Goodluck Jonathan said in Akwa Ibom when he visited Akwa Ibom. Now, you will now, let me start coming back because that is a digression. All these Igbo politicians, governors that is working in legislatures, all of you are a bunch of cowards. Your land, ever since Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is placed there, none of you is vocal. This is our own. Release him. Let us go home and talk. We will talk to our person. You've been releasing Boko Haram, integrating them even in the army. We didn't complain. Release this man who did not commit any crime. If you were fair to us as in the Igbo, as in the Biafra, is this man going to rise up to do what he's doing? The answer is no. So release him or there will be no peace here. Because if this is a country, we have equal share, just like you do. This is how to know people who know what they want. But not cowards. Bunches of cowards. They will not talk. They will not talk. Rather, the ones who want to do something, they are doing underground. They don't want to be noticed. Bunch of cowards. And yet they will tell you, we are one Nigeria. We are one Nigeria. One Nigeria, one Nigeria. One Nigeria, my food. One contraption. You are one contraption. You people, I don't know which planet you people hail from. All these politicians. Which planet did you people hail from? Biafran politicians. You are a coward. You are a coward. In capital letter, you are a coward. You only strong when it comes to your youth, ordinary people on the ground. It is like a lion living in a buffalo that will give him more meat and start chasing after cockroach. You people chase after cockroach to kill cockroach. When there is a buffalo to kill cockroach and eat it. When there is a buffalo that you have access to kill and consume. That's what you people do. A cowards. Cowards. You kill harmless people. Harmless, innocent people. But harmful criminals, you cannot even speak. That's how cowardice you people are. Let us continue to listen to our able lawyer.
1999 as altered, as amended, to enter a nolle prosequi for Nnamdi Kanu. What does it mean?
If I may come in,
continue the present counts charge going against him.
And one of those counts, Mr. Michael Zekome, is treasonable felony. Can you really have a political solution to treason charges? I mean, are there any precedences for that in Nigeria, for example? And what really would be the implications if Nnamdi Kanu is not released, especially when you say UN group had asked the government to release Nnamdi Kanu?
Yeah, the consequences for a country is to turn a country into a pariah nation. If United Nations organization, the Charter of 1945, to which you are a signatory, you are a charter, you are a citizen of the world, by being recognized by the United Nations, and it has given a ruling, and you ignore it, there are usually consequences. Such a country is turned into a pariah nation. When you talk about treason, Section 15 of the Extradition Act says you can only rendition a person back, not for counts that were already going on, but for the matter you think he has done wrong there.
Okay.
So the United Nations Working Group indicted the Nigerian government and the Kenyan government for brutally bringing Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria and keeping him under horrendous treatment. Treason, there are no counts really bordering on treason. The nearest they have is what they call treasonable felony. But we have shown the counts for what they are: empty, hollow, vain, vacuous. Counts that have no substance, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. That was why we were able to strike out to get 8 counts struck out, remaining 7, which we have told the Court of Appeal to also strike out. If you accuse a person, for example, of making a broadcast, you didn't state where he made the broadcast, whether it was in the spirit world or in the land of the dead, or in ghost land.
Confirm.
And then you are saying that based on that voice, which can be simulated, that some people demonstrated in Nigeria and burnt houses. Some military people were also affected. I hope the government will be able to call about 1 million Nigerians out of Nigeria's 280 million people to come and testify to show what effect they said a broadcast from an unknown destination, contrary to the Federal High Court Act and contrary to decisions by the Supreme Court, that you must state the venue of an offense and the time. They did not state. Would they be able to have up to 1 million Nigerians to come and state, okay, you made this broadcast? That is why some people broke ribs. The counts themselves.
This is exactly where I told you that they have seen, according to in their experience, they have seen that the case does not hold any water to still be in the court. But there is a special interest, which is political. And in order to curb that special interest, we need to demand for political solution to curb that special interest, which is dictatorship interest. That's why he has to write to the dictator. Now, United Nations, is it not time, although if the dictator, he will not care if United Nations is seeing Nigeria as a pariah nation, a nation that does not uphold the rule of law or the human rights. Now, it is going to be sanctioned. It is going to be lightly sanctioned. But the problem now is that even if Nigeria is sanctioned today, does your dictator care? Because your dictator, they have made enough money that they will use to even sustain. Their children are studying in abroad. If there is the sanction bring economic instability in the country, the dictator does not care because he is equal to the task. Their children continue to graduate from abroad. They snap pictures and showed you. You look at it, some of you will continue to like, but your children has been at home for almost 1 year now because of ASU strike. You look at it, some of you will start liking. You will find 20,000 like because Buhari's child he graduated from University of Toronto. Or one of the politicians' children, they graduated from University of Cambridge. You will see 20,000 likes. Who are those? People whom their children are in ASU strike in the last 8 months plus. For you to understand that your problem is very, very spiritual. It is spiritual, mental, and physical. Your problem is everywhere. But the mental one is the one that is affecting you the most. Mental problem is the one affecting you the most. So if there is a sanction, they don't care. when they don't care about your children in striking, that your children that are not in school, do you think they will care about you eating or not? The economy of Nigeria is in a limbo already. Nigeria, the valuation of naira is on a tip of a, it is actually like this. Nigeria naira will be devaluated. The inflation rate is on 20 marks. The inflation rate is in 20 marks. 20 point something. Maybe I might be even playing a devil advocate here. Maybe it might even must have gone to 21 mark. Dollar rate, according to black market, is 700 and something dollar rate. So now, how do you think if they join it with a restriction or sanction? What do you think will be your fate? You will start eating each other's body parts in order to eat food. That will be your fate. Exactly. They will start actually isolating you from the global stage. You can no longer have free trade, with anything. That is it. The man that is holding somebody that he committed treasonable felony, when this man come into power, the inflation rate was how many? Was it 9% or 12%? Today, he doubled it, 20%. 20. Who is supposed to be answering for treasonable felony? Unemployment rate is more than half of the population, which is more than 50%. No matter how much they underreport it, the algorithm of the crime will show you unemployment rate in Nigeria. The insecurity will show you the unemployment rate in Nigeria. Places where there are employment, do you think people have time to do crime? So, all these things that you are seeing, who deserve a treasonable felon? Somebody who told you that killing terrorists is killing his own people. Who deserve to be answering case of treasonable felon? And this terrorist has been ransacking the whole Nigeria, killing millions. When you look at them, you will ask, who deserve a treasonable felony? Maka nwaanyị media na-agba ọnụ ka ụkpaka na ego o si agba ọnụ ka ụkpaka. Treasonable felony, this and that. Useless entities. Let us continue.
Are ludicrous and ridiculous. The nearest they would have got is that he imported the transmitter.
All right, so
to where Obulu is Suzo. Anambra State, which the Federal High Court in Abuja has no jurisdiction over. So I am telling President Buhari that as the president of Nigeria, he can look at the larger picture, not at the smaller picture. He must see the cup as half full, not as half empty.
All right.
He must see now the
If I may come in here,
from the binoculars that is being persecuted, his political persecution, as found out by the United Nations Working Group on arbitrary detention.
Okay, Senior Advocate, I mean, you've written this to the president. I wonder if there's been any response. And I also like to ask you, because the president has been asked this question only recently in an interview, and he said he would not interfere with the judiciary. Kanu's case is in the court. Let the judiciary take its course. Let the court take its course in court.
And you believe
but I also
it.
want to ask you, as a senior advocate of Nigeria, is it that you do not have faith in the system, in the judiciary, for this case to run its course?
Now, the same journalist is now explaining exactly what my claims are. Is it that you do not have faith in the judiciary, you see, the judiciary is independent, is not, working independently. There is so many interference. Now, let's continue. Listen attentively.
To start with, the case itself is political. When I say political cases, I know them. I've practiced law for 41 years. When the president says he will not interfere with the judiciary, no one is saying he should interfere with the judiciary. I do not expect Mr. President to go before the judge and say, hello, I want you to withdraw this case. I've struck it out. It doesn't go that way. Nor will I ever advocate for that. What I do say is that the president is the appointer of Abubakar Malami, the attorney, senior advocate of Nigeria, the attorney general of the federation. Have you not seen in the last 7 years many political cases, many cases involving federal government appointees that were discontinued with a nolle prosequi? That is not interference with the judiciary. It is a right, a constitutional right given to the Attorney General of the Federation under Section 175 of the Constitution, that you can undertake, you can continue, you can discontinue, you can withdraw any charge that is already going on, whether initially filed by you or by any other person or authority. But the Attorney General cannot do this by himself, because it's an appointee of Mr. President, because the tail cannot wag the dog, because the messenger cannot become greater than the person who sent him a message. That is why I'm saying the president, as commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Nigeria, and as the president, using his executive powers under Section 5 of the Constitution, does have the power to instruct the Attorney General to say, look, it is more politically, socially, culturally, economically productive to have Nnamdi Kanu released immediately and unconditionally from detention, so that there will be peace again in the restless southeast part of Nigeria. Is southeast not a part of Nigeria? Have you not seen that each day in
Exactly. They don't want peace to be in the restless southeast part of Nigeria. They don't want peace. Yet they continue to tell you one. We are one. We are one. The unity of this zoo is non-negotiable. People like a coward, Joy Bokwe. The unity of this zoo is non-negotiable. You will find other cowards. The unity of this zoo is not negotiable. You will look at these people. Them sometimes on a these people, them on left on a screen will go do solo tape machenda on. On a them concern na screen eben na hali puta will solo tape machia phone because funny equal. Funny we are on a bogina your bomb marrow that you don't even know what to do. When you understand the the level of their, cowardice, or the level of their gullibility, selfishness, self-hate. That is the reason why they will see what they will do to help themselves. They cannot do those to help themselves. Let's finalize.
Nnamdi Kanu is going to court, or when they believe that he's going to court, that the entire place is locked down, and that has been going on for over 3, 4, 5 years, is Mr. President, can he not see Southeast as part and parcel of Nigeria and discover that the best solution to this is political solution? That is not interference with the judiciary. It is by simply instructing the Attorney General of the Federation, who will do what the law says he can do under Section 174 of the Constitution. I assure you, my dear sister, that is not interference with the judicial function. Rather, it is in compliance with our judicial tenets.
Yeah, but there are others who would say that this might just set the wrong precedents and wrong signals to those who may want to take up arms against the country in the name of ethnic or regional agitations. And I'd also like you to address, in the event that President Muhammadu Buhari does not listen to your plea, apart from the indictment by the UN Council, what else can the UN Council do to intervene in this matter?
Well, the UN has various sanctions that can be imposed on a country that willfully defies any of its agencies, particularly on matters having to do with human rights of the citizens. The UN, in this case, through its agency, has found that Nnamdi Kanu was brutally tortured, that even we, his lawyers, are not given access to him, and that we are even being dehumanized. Do you know when we visit SSS, everything, every single thing, up to pen, up to coins, up to naira notes, up to handkerchief, up to your shoes have to be removed before you can see Nnamdi Kanu? How do I confer with my client without a file, without books, without papers for us to have ideas? That is not a fair trial. The same people who accuse him, who got him renditioned back to Nigeria forcefully under torturous circumstances, blindfolded on the 26th of June 2021, are the same people who investigated him, who accused him, who are prosecuting him, and they are the people who are also his custodians, keeping him under solitary confinement with his health failing on a daily basis. His health failing. Nnamdi Kanu's health is failing on a daily basis. And we have begged, let an independent doctor look at him, particularly having regard with his potassium content, the potassium content in his body. And he's draining away. And he's kept in solitary confinement. He can only be open on certain days of the week just to see the sun. Don't you know, vitamin D, that you must have the sun? Now, if the government does not do that, that means the government is saying, telling the United Nations, go to hell. Although we're part and parcel of you, we can do anything we want to do and ignore you. And there are consequences. Many of them, legal, constitutional, international, conventional, and including a country being turned into a pariah in a way that when you speak, they will say, oh, don't mind them. They are not rule of law compliant. That is not the kind of image we want. I know President Buhari, I'm sure, and I urge him not to leave behind such a legacy. Didn't he just tell the hunger last week when he was here that he wants to leave behind a legacy of adherence to rule of law and a free and fair election and electoral process? This is one such time that Mr. President is being called upon to walk the talk that you just said last week by releasing Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally, forthwith, immediately. And it caused the government no harm. Nnamdi Kanu will simply come, go back to his village. The entire Igbo people will come out jubilating. Everybody will be happy. Can't you see that the tension is too much? We can, instead of self-immolating, self-destructing, we can self-build. We can build confidence. We can stretch our hands across the Niger, across the Benue. We can incorporate everybody. We can have rapprochement. We can bring about peace, genuine peace that leads to egalitarianism. Peace, not peace of the graveyard or cemetery, but peace that is to build with mutual respect.
Yeah,
so
that point has been.
We also feel they are part and parcel of this country.
That point has been well. It has been well made. If I may just.
Sunday Igboho,
yes,
who was also arrested.
Right.
I've written severally on it that he should also, because his determination for Oduduwa Republic is not a crime known international law.
And that's the point I'm trying to make. That's the point I'm trying to raise with you. If it were not signaled to non-state actors and other ethnic agitators that they can actually go ahead, in the event that President Muhammadu Buhari really responds to your appeal.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
You and I, we are living in Nigeria. You are talking about harmless people who are not armed. Are you not aware that in this country, some Boko Haram, some people accused of Boko Haram were released and traded For others, by way of a quid pro quo, they say, okay, release some of us. Then we will release some of your detained citizens. Are you not aware that that has gone on in this country? So what is the bad precedent of saying a non-violent person should be released from detention, from illegal detention? A detention that the United Nations has been found to be illegal and to be unconstitutional and to be torturous. I do not see anything that is setting any bad precedent there in a situation where as a matter of fact, some Boko Haram and armed bandits are being released in exchange for some of their members, where kidnappers are demanding from parents of children they have kidnapped to buy tarodo, tatache, tomatoes, vegetable oil, palm oil, to buy salt, to buy rice, yams, for them to feed their children so as to keep them alive, to enable the parents pay ransom for them. What is the long precedent here that we are just saying release, find a political solution by going through the tenets and the provisions of the law? I do not personally see anything wrong with that at all, and there's none that I know of. And I cannot see it leading to any floodgate or any resurgence by other people coming to say, criminals coming to say, oh, you must also give me reprieve. It does not happen that way. How many Nnamdi Kanus do you have in Nigeria? And how many Sunday Igbohos do you have in Nigeria? These are people who have carried the specter of their people on their heads, and they have become a metaphor for their self-determination struggle.
Right, Mr. Mike Ezokeme, senior advocate of Nigeria and lawyer to Nnamdi Kanu, the IPOB, proscribed IPOB leader. Thank you so much for joining us on this.
Mpagi proscribe IPOB ko Boko Haram proscribe IPOB. So, great Biafrans all over the world, this is it. This is it. This is how it is happening. And now, in conclusion, when we talk about this political solution, you will now get it and understand that political solution is not only when somebody, it's not when only when you say, let your governors, let your senators go and negotiate. It is not for your senators and your governors to go and negotiate your independence. No, that is not political solution. Political solution has many branches, depending on the one that you are seeking for at that point in time. Like now, the political solution that is being talked about is because the judiciary now is helpless in this matter, that they cannot rule this case because there is a force that is interfering in this case, which is political force, which is executive force. And executive happens to be the leader of this politics. Now, you have to now call on the executive to tell the executive, we know that you are the one holding this case. Therefore, don't fight to win a war and lose the peace, because they know what is to come. They know what is to come. Don't fight to win the war and lose the peace, because that peace, is something they have lost. The action is something that is going to emanate when they believe that they are winning the war. So, release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. He has committed no crime known to law. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has committed no crime known to law. Release him. Let him come out. If you can release Boko Haram terrorists, trade in Boko Haram terrorists with some families in Nigeria. And you see Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, you see him as somebody who is dangerous, but you haven't seen Boko Haram that is killing and ransacking villages in the northern part of Nigeria, which the media has grown fatigue. It has gone, they've gone fatigue that they can no longer report what is happening in the northern region of Nigeria. How the terrorist is destroying that area, how they are killing people, kidnapping every day. There are shot. In fact, I believe that it is actually this same executive who ordered the media to stop reporting them. This is how dangerous they are. They have ordered the media stop reporting things that is happening in the north, because we want to present it as if this man in Aso Rock is going to leave a legacy that there was a peace when he left, so that when if eventually this one called obedient, when he go there, they would say there was peace when this cabal in Aso Rock left. So the insecurity now is emanating because of the Igbo man. So that is the reason why they have, cautioned the media not to report what is happening. And that is the reason you're supposed to actually ask yourself, why is it that you are no longer hearing about them? Does it mean they stop overnight? The answer is no. It will never just stop. It is up to the media to show you, because when the media is showing you, you will know how to go to the place of safety. But which is going to actually exacerbate the problem of the terrorists, which is exactly what they don't want. They want the terrorists to continue to work strong, because people in power are the ones sponsoring them. They are the ones giving them ladder to climb. So we are calling on these Igbo politicians to act, demand. You don't need to actually ask. Demand for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, because you people are part of those holding him. You people are part of those holding him. All these things you see happening to Ifeanyi Oba escaping death. If Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was with us, all those nonsense will not be happening. So, since you people like evil will continue to come to you people, because they are now using for the sake of they are holding Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, building army of destruction through Simon Ekpa and Asare Dokubo. That is the opportunity they have utilized. When they are killing you politicians, they will say they are IPOB. That is exactly, does it matter who they are if they kill you? It does not matter. It doesn't matter whom they are. And that is exactly what you people groomed. You people groomed it. And if you know to order, will continue to come to you people until you do the needful. Because those criminals that are masking themselves, killing your youth, innocent youth, sometimes kill you, attack you politicians, very soon it will become a full-blown attack on you people. Don't forget, the children of Israel, they decided to embrace the enemy instead of embracing the God that will lead them to freedom. That is the image, the graven image they went to embrace, because Moses was not present, because Moses went to the mountain. Don't forget, let it dwell with you. Meditate upon it, and you ask yourself, am I doing the right thing? Or am I doing the wrong thing? Am I jeopardizing the freedom, or am I saving the freedom? Because you might be doing it believing that you are doing it to hurt Judge Money, or to hurt Chike Dozie, or to hurt DOS as a whole, or you might be doing it that you want to, prove a point. But I can assure you, you are doing it because you want to destroy yourself and you don't want freedom. And as the more you are doing it, the more you are exacerbating your own problem. The more you are creating all this charade, trying to instigate, trying to support the graven image, which is Simon Ekpa, that you people have made for yourself, because you can no longer see Moses. The more you are doing it, the more your people will be suffering. You are exacerbating the problem of your people on the ground. You are killing the people that you are supposed to be saving, using somebody whom you don't know his bloodline, who lied to you he come from Ebonyi State because you grew up there, without you knowing that he is part and parcel of Asare Dokubo's activities. But it is time for you to come out. Leave this graven image and focus on your God and the choosing and the choice he made for you, which is Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, and the guideline that choice put in place, and the principles, the structures he put in place. Follow it, you will never go wrong. Let us remind Nigeria one thing. Until we meet again, stay safe, stay informed.
Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, a British national and political activist who was traveling on a British passport when he was kidnapped and tortured in Kenya for 8 days by Kenyan and Nigerian government-sponsored criminals. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was renditioned to Nigeria on a government-chartered flight without extradition process. Nigerian government continues to hold Mazen Nnamdi Kanu captive under severe torture, treating him worse than a condemned criminal. In spite of all the protests around the world condemning extraordinary rendition of this great eloquent political activist and demanding for his release, Boris Johnson's British government continues to do nothing and says nothing to free Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, who is a British citizen and who is being tortured to death by the Islamist fundamentalist-controlled government of Nigeria. The questions now are: what does Boris Johnson's British government know about the planned kidnapping, torture, and rendition of this British citizen in the hands of the Islamist fundamentalist-controlled Nigerian government? Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is neither a criminal nor a wanted person